welcome to Reunion Arena, where the Dallas Mavericks has set another team record. They have their 25th sellout of the season. Good evening, everybody. I'm Rick Barry. Well, the Boston Celtics are in town, the team with the best record in the NBA. They recently had their 8-game winning streak broken by the Washington Bullets at Capitol Center in an overtime game. But during this great stretch, the Boston Celtics have had one man do the job, most valuable player, Larry Bird. So we asked Larry if there was any particular reason for his exceptional play recently.
After I went through a period of time there where I had some injuries, all of a sudden I started feeling good, and we started playing better basketball as a team, and it seemed like everything started going my way. The rebounds were coming my way, the ball was coming my way, and the fact that I could take some more shots. I was getting out on a break a little bit better. My teammates were finding me open. I think everything just come together at the right time, and that's why I was able to put together some great games there.
And here's a look at some of the statistics that Larry Bird has amassed recently. And Bill, I don't know about you, but I'm impressed.
I'm impressed too, Rick. But those statistics don't tell the whole story. What kind of problems does he cause for the other coach? How bad does he distort the other defenses? What does he do when he makes moves with the ball, gives a good pass, and he make his teammates move without the ball? All these kind of things you can't chart because some of them, they just don't show up on statistics. He is a great player, Rick.
Okay, now this Dallas Maverick team, the last time we saw them, well, they were all kind of going like this as they watched Julius Erving throw in a 50-footer to beat them at the buzzer. Now, since that time, that was their 6th consecutive loss. They've won 4 or 5, Bill, but I know that Dick Motta is still very upset that no one has really come forward to take charge of this ball club in the crucial situations down in the last couple of minutes.
Well, you know, they don't have Mark Aguirre tonight because he's home with the flu. I watched him play last night, and they had someone to take charge during that stretch. Brad Davis, maybe not who you'd expect to take charge, but he did a great job last night. But, now that was against the Sacramento Kings and not the Boston Celtics. But maybe he can carry it over tonight, who knows? Because if he does, they can be very competitive going down the stretch.
Okay, we'll see if the Dallas Mavericks are able to come up with victory number 1 against the Boston Celtics in their brief franchise history when we come back. It'll be Kevin McHale, Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Dennis Johnson, and Danny Ainge. Very familiar 5 names, with McHale, of course, having been out for quite a while. It's nice to see them all back together. For the Dallas Mavericks, replacing Mark Aguirre, who's out with the flu, it'll be Jay Vincent, Sam Perkins, James Donaldson, Brad Davis, and Rolando Blackman. The officials for tonight's ball game, Hugh Hollins on the left and Bruce Alexander on your right. And Bruce looks like he's been spending a little bit of time outside of the arenas, Bill, with that suntan he's got.
Hey, you know, Rick, a couple of years ago, Mark Aguirre got hurt and was out, and Jay Benson averaged almost the same amount of points from the same position. So that I think the major difference will be tonight when they go to the bench. Instead of having Jay Benson sitting there, they'll have someone else, and who knows who it's going to be.
As we look at the statistics for this season for both ball clubs, well, Jay doing a good job off the bench, was averaging almost 14 points a game in that role. See how he does with the assignment of having to guard Larry Bird along with being the starter.
That can start you off to a bad evening.
Also, the second-year player, Sam Perkins, against McHale, and this time he comes away victorious with the first rebound. On the left, Vincent is open. And McHale gets the first block of the ball game. Now, Vincent made an excellent move. McHale, I thought, Bill, did an outstanding job recovering to get that block.
Well, McHale's one of the better shot blockers in the league because he probably has the longest pair of arms in the league, and he plays a lot of good defense with his left hand. On right-handed shooters, that really effective.
Inside of 10 on the shot clock is James Donaldson. Gets the first 2 points of the ball game. Donaldson, former Seattle Supersonic, to the Clippers, and now with the Mavericks, and they're happy with the work that he's doing. And McHale comes up short again. Donaldson tracks it down. Kevin McHale's been shooting since Christmas time, somewhere up over around 61%, so it's unusual to see him miss 2 in a row. 2 men go to Davis. That leaves Perkins wide open. Little miscommunication defensively that time on the part of the Celtics. Larry Bird, who had a poor shooting night against Washington, 10 for 30.
But you got to have heart to keep taking them up, Rick.
Shot clock to 7 as Dennis Johnson gets the nice pass from Bird. Bird almost gets the tip in. Another rebound for James Donaldson. Sam Perkins just inside 3-point range. That's Danny Ainge. Mavericks back very well defensively. Robert Parrish. Another try for Danny. Can't give the shooters 2 tries, Bill.
Can't let them hit the boards on you like that either. That was a good rebound by Robert Parrish, and they thought, a couple of fans thought it might have been off or slamming his back, but that was a good rebound.
Good screen by Donaldson to free Blackman. He can't get it to drop, and that's Dennis Johnson against Davis. Knocked away from behind by Jay Vincent. He'll pick up the foul, however. Now watch Jay, number 31. Right on the right arm of Dennis Johnson.
And it's only a foul if you hit his hand. It's not a foul if you another foul if you hit his hand, but if you hit his arm, that's 2 free throws.
Provided, of course, the hands on the ball. And Dennis Johnson continues the cold shooting of the Boston Celtics. They're only 1 for 6 on that basket by Danny Ainge. Dallas is leading.
That's called the saturation method. Rick, take 130 shots. You only need to make 40 of them.
So DJ 1 for 2 from the line. The Celtics 3, Dallas 4. We played a little over 2 minutes here in the first period from Reunion Arena in Dallas, Texas. Shot clock goes down inside of 10. Brad Davis, the man who took over in the 4th period yesterday against the Kings. They took a charter flight on Don Carter, the owner of the Mavericks team, to get back here at 3 in the morning with Larry Bird. It's a nice soft underhand shot. His first 2 points of the ball game.
You know, what's interesting to me to watch Larry Bird is that he's trying different kinds of shots this year than he did any time in his career.
Again, the mismatch as Perkins is open on that little screen move, and again, he capitalizes on it. Little miscommunication again between Ainge and Larry Bird. Both men running after the wrong guy that time. Larry tried to do the quick give and go.
And that just shows you, even on veteran ball clubs and good ball clubs, that's Casey Jones, the coach of Celtics, you have to talk on defense.
Kevin McHale with his 3rd try. Again, he's short, and Larry Bird with a wonderful tip-in, just using fingertip control. And that's something a lot of players actually practice. You practice doing those kind of tip drills. Again, the 2-man play. Blackman finds a hole, takes it all the way.
Again, they're not talking defense.
Exactly. A lot of teams, though, Bill, recently have been using that 2-man game out high. The most basic play in the game of basketball. So difficult to defend against if you don't communicate. A foul spotted by Bruce Alexander. Vincent with his 2nd. And there's Dick Motta. 22nd timeout called by the Boston Celtics right now.
Well, the key to the good defense, Rick, is you got to be conversation. And you got to start from the baseline and talk all the way out to the top of the foul circle. The guy at the baseline, the reason I say that, he has the best view of what's coming. And there should always be a lot of chatter out there as to what's coming up. Pick left, pick right. I'll take them. And these are kind of things, some of these things you work out in practice when you look at films of the other team. But no matter what, you've got to talk on defense.
Remind you, this program is authorized on the rights granted by the National Basketball Association solely for the entertainment of our audience. And any publication, production, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited. Field goals, Boston only 33%. Kevin McHale was fouled. That'll count, and reaching in was Rolando Blackman.
For a guy that's not exceptionally tall, Kevin McHale does as good a job of protecting the ball against a double team and getting the shot off without being distracted of any player in the league.
Well, they may have seen Blackman. It may have looked like he was only on the hand of Kevin McHale, but he was across the wrist as well. Celtics continue with their poor free throw shooting. 8:20 to go here in the first period. If you just joined us, Mark Aguirre is out with the flu, and Jay Vincent has started in his place. 6-7 on the shot clock. Parrish off the miss by Perkins. Danny Ainge. Four points now for Ainge. Rolando Blackman. His first 2 points. No, he has 4 points now. He had that nice drive down the middle. Robert Parrish can't get the left hand to drop.
He ended up taking a bad shot, although he got good position.
Davis kicks it to Blackman. Nice move. Ainge with the foul. It would have counted had it gone. And Danny Ainge got popped right in the lip, it looked like. First foul on Danny. Here it goes again.
Fake. Danny had no chance. He's lucky that Blackman didn't really pull up, and he could have got a three-point play.
Detlef Schrempf, you see in the background, getting ready to come in for the Dallas Mavericks. He really has not played a great deal. They were expecting a lot from this first-round draft choice. And he's seen limited time, but with Vincent and with 2 fouls early in the game, this may be a wonderful opportunity for Detlef Schrempf and Aguirre being out to get some quality minutes and have a chance to do something. He's too tentative, I think, Bill.
He was playing a little bit earlier, Rick, and then they went through that stretch where they weren't playing well, and Dick Martin took all the young guys out and just played the veterans for a number of games.
I think
when they won 11 out of 12 games.
Affected Detlef's confidence. That man's confidence will not waver, however, even though he missed that shot, Larry Bird. Blackman against DJ. DJ got a hand on it. Knocked away from Parrish by Schrempf, but he's able to track it down. Unenviable pass right there, and he paid the price. Detlef Schrempf, the rookie.
You could almost see the smile on Larry's face and said, look what I got here.
Now, Schrempf's giving him too much room to the left that time, Bill. You saw the push and then the foul with the body, and you can't give Larry Bird that room. You got to play him honest.
Well, you see, the thing is about that, though, Rick. The way Larry's playing, if you do play him honest, he's going to make that jumper on you.
Well, I'd rather have him do that than embarrass me by going in the hoop and getting a three-point play. Timeout on the court with 6:58 in the first. Boston Celtics 13. The Dallas Mavericks have a 1-point lead.
First quarter unfold in front of us. The Mavericks don't have a real inside game from the center. And this is important because maybe somebody, one of your forwards or power forwards, go down and post up. But you're not as able to take advantage of the double teams with a forward in there as you are with a center. If you got a center that can go and create the double teams, you got a better shooter with your forwards and your guards than you do if you have a center out there at the top of the key. And it's important for them to get an inside game. That's one of the things I think keeps them from being one of the elite teams.
You know, it's true. Perkins, who's their big forward, Bill, he plays outside and likes to shoot that jumper. Now they go inside with Donaldson with a little bit of a fadeaway. McHale.
So Johnson doesn't really create very much of a double team.
Three-pointer. Of course, this is the site where Larry Bird did that incredible shooting in the long-distance shootout on All-Star Saturday. But, however, it was on the other basket, though, Bill. Not the other end of the court.
There's a guy, every time he misses, he's surprised.
Detlef Schrempf, again, in the passing position, Bill. See, he should look to be offensive-minded. You don't have to guard a man who stands there like that. That's going to be a foul outside on Danny Ainge.
Well, that's because the guy is looking to see what's there instead of making up his mind what to make.
Well, I haven't talked to Detlef earlier in the season. When you have the ball, if you look like you're going to drive or shoot the ball, you make the defense play you honest, and it actually makes passing the ball easier for you. Schrempf against Bird. Robert Parrish. 6:05 remaining here in the first period. We're tied at 14. Larry Bird with a double clutch. That time Schrempf played good defense, but again the rebounding as Parrish takes it to the basket. Robert now with his first 2 points of the ball game. Brad Davis. 4 points for Davis. He's 2 for 2 now. Robert Parrish again.
Now that was a little fake he gave Johnson, like he's going to go baseline, and all they did was open up the jump shot because he'll take that baseline.
Obviously Donaldson knew that.
Yes.
There's that two-man game again. Schrempf with the screen. Davis, excellent move. Count it. Foul, Larry Bird. Brad Davis taking off where he left off last night. There's that little penetration move. Bird got him with the body. Another look at it. That little move to the right, Bill, that little dribble and head fake to the right caught Bird leaning that way, and that's all you need to get the defense out of position. So it was an excellent play. A little bit of help defensively would have been nice to step in on the strong side, however, for the Celtics.
Well, those little guards, when you get to be Larry side, those little guards are always a pain.
Brad Davis with 7 points. Dennis Johnson comes up short. Donaldson to Blackman. Blackman against Johnson. Count it. Continuation. He'll go to the line. Foul against Dennis Johnson. And the sellout crowd over Union Arena is appreciative of that move. Let's watch that again, Bill. Again, I like the little move. He gave that little bit of head fake and lean. Now watch that little move. He looked a little bit to the left. He looked like he was doing it. He saw DJ out of position. One of the few times you see Dennis Johnson in that bad a defensive position. A little too wide, it looked like, in his base, Bill.
Exactly, because and then he went, after he realized he was beaten, that's when the old foul occurs, because he reached in and said, well, maybe I can knock the ball away, because if I don't, he's going to really embarrass me.
Rolando Blackman completes the 3-point play. 9 points now for Rolando. He and Davis doing the damage for the Mavericks as they lead by 4 with 4:40 remaining in the first period. There's a 2-man game by the Celtics. Ainge couldn't turn the corner, knocked away by Davis. 5 on the shot clock. Perkins. Shrimp was wide open down the court. They didn't see him. Scott Webben, who came into the ball game, finally picks him up. Block McHale. Second block for Kevin. And Kevin on the trail. 2 tries for Kevin. Last touch by the Celtics. It will be Maverick ball. A golden opportunity missed that time by Boston. And again, Perkins doing the same thing Shrimp was doing. 7 on the shot clock. Perkins, he'll go to the line also. And the Dallas Mavericks continue with these baskets and free throw opportunities as they find holes and are penetrating against the Celtics. Here it is again. McHale overcommitted. Wedman come over to help out, but he reached in and was moving, and that's why when the contact occurred, here's the foul. Here it is again. See, Scotty was moving, and had he not reached with the left hand, Bill, he might have been able to draw the charge.
That's because he started too late, Rick. When you get in that situation, defensively, you have to react. Rather, you have to act rather than react. You have to anticipate. When you see a situation like that, a guy's coming toward the middle, you start before he gets there so that you're not still moving. And if he doesn't come, that's okay. And be ready to go back to your man in case you make him have to pass.
I think what made the play, though, was that McHale was afraid of that outside shot of Perkins and overcommitted. Little double teaming on the part of the Mavericks. Good ball movement by the Celtics to find the open man, but Ainge can't convert. Back comes Dallas. 3 against 3. Blackman can't handle it. Bill Walton be ready to come in now for Boston. Dallas has scored 9 consecutive points to take a 7-point lead, 25-18. 3:30 remaining as you look at turnovers.
It hasn't been turnovers difference. It's been bad shooting by the Celtics. Has been most of the story this first quarter.
Dennis Johnson, he'll go to the line as he's fouled by James Donaldson. Now, I'll tell you, if we get a replay on this one, watch Dennis Johnson and see if he hooks with his right arm when he makes this move to the basket. Keep an eye on Dennis Johnson's right arm. Right there. That's a heck of a hook he put on him, I'll tell you, Bill. He hooked Rolando so good. That was really nice. Right in front of the official, he got away with it.
Hey, those guards do it all the time, Rick. They won't let the big guys get away with it, though. They see the big guys because it's eye level for the officials. 4
points now for DJ. 3:10 to go here in the first period. 4-point lead now for Dallas. Perkins all alone with Robert Parrish. Parrish with the block.
Is that double dribble?
And Perkins with the shot. No?
I'm not sure.
Robert blocked the ball, knocked it away. They've got, see what's called by Hugh Hollins. They're calling the foul by Scott Wedman. He was pushing one of the Mavericks off as he ran down the court, threw him out of the way, and that's now the penalty against the Boston Celtics. And we have a timeout as Scott Wedman disputes the call, but that will send one of the Mavericks to the free throw line when we return with 2:56 still remaining here in the first quarter.
Jeep Cherokee has some advantages you ought to look into. like superior cargo room and room for 5 with a choice of 2 or 4 doors and 4-wheel drive you can shift on the fly. But the most important advantage, Cherokee is all Jeep, inside and out.
We're not a company, but outstanding people come to us every day. People who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts. People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual. People who become your friends for life. People just like you. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Army. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Basketball, the American game played worldwide.
I'm going to correct myself. The foul was not coming up the court. Watch Shrimp come across the right part of the screen. He's in the middle of the key now, battling with Wedman. Now watch Wedman right there just take 2 hands and throw Shrimp out of the way. And they brought the ball in bounds, but Hugh Holland said no, there was a foul after the basket. Now there's Bill Walton, who has come into the game, and he has broken his nose for the 13th time. He did that in Landover on Saturday night. And
that's the biggest break since Watergate. Okay.
They're only going to give him 1 shot, even though it's the penalty, because the basket was made, so he will have 1 shot. Had the basket not gone in, Shrimp, of course, would have had 1 plus the penalty for 2.
Casey said to Bill Walton, hey, you got your nose broken. Why don't you go home and take some rest? He says, Coach, I don't play basketball on my nose.
Sounds like him. Danny Ainge wide open, a little defensive mix-up there. Nobody was even guarding Danny that time. Ainge has 6. Again, the 2-man game. And Brad Davis again capitalizes on it. Brad Davis has 9 points. He's tied with Blackman. Now, and Perkins with 9 for those 3 have 27 of the Dallas 29 points. Parrish short. Perkins.
Now, that 2-man game down here that the Mavericks are running, the Celtics should not switch on that because they have not been able to handle a mismatch on that switch, so they shouldn't switch on that. Should let the first guy get played by Donaldson. They said the first man through rather than having to switch.
Donaldson with 4. Now, those are the 4 players that have done all the scoring for Dallas. Perkins, Donaldson, Davis, and Blackman. Wedman off a good screen by Parrish to get open. DJ on the offensive boards.
Now, that was just a hard-working play there.
Well, Dennis Johnson is a hard-working type player. 6 for Dennis. Cuts it to a 6-point lead for Dallas. Final minute and 30 seconds here in the first quarter. Blackman isolated against DJ. Made the good move to get free, and Scott Wedman is being called for the foul. That will send Rolando to the free throw line for 2 shots. There was the slap, a little contact on the part of Scott Wedman, but again, looked like Dennis Johnson got himself in that wide stance again, Bill.
And he let Rolando go baseline, and that's hell was always too late when you go baseline.
Rolando now 3 for 4 from the free throw line.
See, because you make a guy go down the middle and there's help, he has to be careful, aware of the offensive foul, and that can be a distraction enough to make him miss the shot. If he goes baseline, he's got you in deep trouble. Plus, he can use the basket as a screen.
7-point lead for Dallas, 10 points for Blackman. Trying to post up Dennis Johnson against Rolando. Shot clock inside of 10. And DJ comes through once again. That's 8 for Dennis. Perkins wide open on the left, and they finally, someone picks him up. It was Bill Walton. There's the two-man game. BLACKMAN. Outstanding individual effort that time by Rolando. He's got 12.
Good catch, backboard.
DJ tries to pay him back. Davis keeps it alive. Schrempf's got it. Detlef Schrempf. And it's a 9-point lead for Dallas. Biggest lead of the ball game. Final 30 seconds. Ten on the shot clock. From 17, Dennis Johnson can't find it. And
Excellent pass by Bill Walton. Bad shot by Dennis.
Dallas will play for the last shot. 10 seconds remaining in the quarter. They lead by 9. Blocked by Bill Walton. They'll not get a shot off. Too late. Brad Davis tried to run the play that they ran against Philly when they didn't get a good shot off, and they fail again, but they still lead by 9 at the end of the first 12 minutes of action.
Man, skiing sure is fun. You run into lots of nice people out there.
Yeah, we ran into Corky yesterday.
That's for sure.
And afterward, there's nothing like a warm fire.
Oh, I'll see.
And a cold indoor light. Light really tastes great.
And it's less filling. And us hot doggers don't like to get filled up. Speaking of hot dogs, where's Euchre?
You!
Great seats, hey, buddy! Hey, where are all the guys? They're missing all the fun!
For great taste, there's only...
Arena. I know I have to be careful that Pam's not with me, Bill, but she is pretty, let's face it.
It's okay this time, Rick.
Okay. We also take a look at some of the quick stats. You can see Boston, again, Bill pointed out, not shooting particularly well in this first quarter, and Dallas was an exceptional shooting percentage. Now, we've got a lot of fans all over the country watching us on the Superstation, Bill. We want to wish a happy birthday. 90 years old today, down in Florida, to Charlie Cronick. He watches us all the time. He's a big Boston Celtic fan, so I thought you'd appreciate that.
We used to play basketball together, Rick.
I can believe it. Larry Bird has come back in with Kevin McHale, as you see, dead even on the rebounding. So let's set the lineup for you. We've got McHale, Walton, and Bird in the front line with Ainge and Jerry Seasting now in the backcourt for Boston. It's Vincent back in with Davis, Ellis for his first appearance tonight, along with Schrempf and James Donaldson for Dallas, with Derek Harper about to come in, who missed the last 3 games with a sprained left ankle. McHale knocks it away. Those long arms of Kevin McHale again coming through.
He had good defensive position with his feet, too, on that particular play, Rick.
Larry Bird, the left hand, bad bounce for Larry. Jay Vincent. Bird quickly to McHale. Ellis is there. Good defense. Looked like a defensive halfback in football that time. Vincent from Davis.
Now that was the result of a bad, ill-advised pass.
On the part of Larry Bird is what Bill is referring to. But it was a very good pass on the part of Brad Davis. And that's a good pass from Walton to a cutting Larry Bird.
That was not ill-advised.
9 points now for Larry. Davis to Vincent. Vincent up short again. Schrempf kept it alive, but that's Ainge. 2 against 1. Bird is back with him, but Ainge doesn't need him. Excellent move by
outstanding
Danny.
play, but the whole play, Danny coming up with the ball. And the defense never gave him an opening to do anything but to go to the hoop.
Danny has 8 points. Dallas has 13 rebounds in this game, Bill, and all of them have been on the part of James Donaldson and Sam Perkins. 5 on the shot clock. Schrempf, the left hand. Donaldson goaltending. He touched the ball while it was still within the cylinder. Now watch Donaldson come into the picture, number 40. There's the shot by Schrempf. Still in the cylinder. It's still within it, and there's the touch by Donaldson. Not allowed.
Good eyes, Rick.
the last thing to go, Bill. 10 on the shot clock. Bird against Shrimp. Good defense that time on the part of Shrimp. But again, the Celtics on the offensive boards. Traveling call by Bill Walton. Concerning Dick Motta looking on.
You know why coaches never sit down?
Larry Bird against Shrimp, telegraphing the pass. That's Ainge against Ellis. Ainge will go to the free throw line.
You know,
why don't they ever sit down?
Worst seat in the house, the coach's seat. Here's a good steal by Larry Bird up there. That's it.
Just telegraphed the pass, though. I mean, he brought it up to the top of his head. He told everybody in the building he was going to throw it. And there's a good move by Danny Ainge as he just accelerated past Ellis that time. Danny, one of the best free throw shooters in the league. Number 5, I believe, Larry Bird leads the NBA in that department. 9:15 to go here in the second quarter. Dale Ellis. And now all of a sudden the Dallas Mavericks have gone cold. Boston, they trailed at the end of the first period by 9. Offensive foul called against Kevin McHale as Bill Winnington will get his first turn of duty tonight. I didn't see any traveling, Bill. Talk about the offensive, no travel, with offensive foul. He dipped that left shoulder into his man. Dallas 1 for 5 so far in this quarter. Harper. Well, the ankle's not bothering too much.
Maybe I'll shoot with my wrist and not use my ankle on this one, Rick.
Larry Bird, he'll go to the free throw line. It's going to be on Harper, who reached in as Larry made his move to the hoop. 13 foul already against Dallas, and we've only played 3 minutes and 24 seconds here in the second period. No team fouls against Boston.
Now, if Larry makes these 2 free throws, they'll be 5 points behind, and they have been playing not too good.
So what you're saying that Dallas could be in serious trouble?
Well, maybe they won't play any better. But at this point, they have not played. Well, they haven't shot the ball very well, and they've given up a lot of points as a result of that.
See if Dallas goes inside. No, another 19-footer, and again, Vincent is short. Ainge to McHale, and that time he did travel, as Rick Carlisle will be coming in for the first time tonight as Danny Ainge goes to the bench. Now watch the feet of Kevin McHale. I agree, Bill. You're giving me that look. People can't hear that look, but the turnovers now still relatively low. Of course, Dallas, one of the best teams in the league in that department for the last several years. Shot clock goes inside of 10. Harper can't get it down, and Seasting comes away with it for Boston. McHale was open. They didn't spot him. You see him now getting picked up by Vincent. And Jerry Seasting, who has been shooting exceptionally well of late. Since February the 17th, he was 41 of 64, so make it 42 of 65 for almost 65%. Shot clock inside of 10. It's at 5. At 3. And a good bounce that time for Harper. He has 4 points now. Back to a 5-point lead. Bill Walton. His first points of the ball game. Celtics have cut it to a 3-point Dallas advantage. Still 7 minutes left to play here in the second quarter. Rolando Blackman getting ready to come in for Dallas on the next dead ball. Vincent, very difficult shot. And he gets it back. Knocked away by Carlisle, but they're calling the foul. First team foul against Boston. And the Dallas Mavericks are going to take a timeout as Dick Motta has seen that 9-point lead that his team had at the end of the first period whittled away down to 3.
Renault and Jeep, the official vehicles of the NBA, presents the NBA rulebook. In a game,
He hasn't been playing much lately, and obviously this is affecting his performance. I mean, he wasn't in with his team as part of the huddle, and you can't feel sorry for yourself in this game. You've got to pick yourself up by the bootstraps, so to speak, and get back into it and play. Blackman has it knocked away. Seasting, and he continues with the hot hand.
And Bill Walton is doing something that Robert Parrish didn't do in the first quarter. He closed that middle down.
Over the last 4 minutes, Boston has run off 14-4 to cut it to a 1-point lead for Dallas. Blackman over Walton. He made him change the shot. You don't have to always block it, do you, Bill?
That's right. All you got to do is make him shoot something funny. And he made him shoot something funny last time.
10 on the shot clock. Larry Bird, they call traveling on Larry Bird. No basket. He can't believe it as he gives Hugh Hollins a look. I think what happened, he faked Hugh Hollins out with that little fake bounce pass that he was going to throw. Dennis Johnson has come back in now for Boston. Davis and Blackman, the original starting backcourt, is in. Sam Perkins will be coming in momentarily also for Dallas.
Now, you know, when they signed Jerry Seasting, I think he turned out even better than they expected him to. Because he's done a great job for him coming off the bench. And that's that third guard that you got to have when you win the elite teams.
It was not a good shot by Bill Winnington. Vincent on Bird. There's a double team by Davis. They'll find an open man.
Oh, was that a great pass?
Dennis Johnson.
Oh.
As soon as you see the second man run to Bird, you know somebody's going to get the ball in their hands wide open for Boston.
That was just a great pass. That's the same kind of pass that Kareem makes.
Boston has regained the lead with 5:20 remaining here in the second quarter. Davis on the two-man game with Vincent. The foul will be against Seasting.
Now, Rick, the reason I say that's the kind of pass that Kareem makes, he created that double team and waited for it to get fully developed, and then he made that outstanding pass.
Robert Parrish returning to the lineup also for Boston. Bill Walton to the bench.
And he's done an excellent job for him in the first half.
He
really did a good job when he closed down. He closed that middle down.
All season he's been doing it for them. There's the double team by Boston. Let's see if Dallas Dallas doesn't come up with a wide open player for a shot. There's the two-man game. Foul on Dennis Johnson.
Now that's the foul that Dennis got away with. I guess he shouldn't feel bad that Len got away with it on him.
3 team fouls now on Boston. They match Dallas in that department. There it comes again. This time Davis decides to go baseline, and he dribbles the ball out of bounds.
There was really no place to go because they had a good defense. Kevin McHale stayed outside the paint, but he was 8 miles away from his man.
Well, in 6 minutes, Boston has whittled away what was an 11-point deficit to have regained the lead by 1. 4:40 remaining here in the second quarter. Here's the two-man game now for Boston. Bird tries to get it to Parrish. They knock it away. Good defense. 3 against 1. Vincent to Winnington. Over Seasting as he takes it home. First 2 for Bill Winnington. And Dallas has regained the lead.
Now what Dallas is doing defensively now, they're packing the middle. They've got everybody in the paint almost defensively.
Larry Bird made an outstanding move to get himself open on that play, and DJ with an excellent pass.
And the difference in that play and the other plays was that Bird got the ball in the paint on a pass and not a dribble. When they dribble in, you have to pick the ball up. Now here's the play here when he goes in there. Now here's it. Look at the white shirts there.
Yeah, actually, I think Robert Parrish just mishandled the ball because Larry made such a tricky pass. I don't think Robert saw it in time to get his hands on it as Larry hits the first free throw.
And that may be true, Rick, but I think the reason he didn't see it is there was a lot of hands in there, on the defensive hands in there in the way.
Bill Walton has re-entered the ball game as Kevin McHale goes to the bench. That will hurt Larry's lead in the free throw department. Robert Parrish takes it home on the offensive glass, and that has hurt Dallas more than anything else, I think, here this evening.
That's a pretty good size front line, Parrish, Walton, and Bird, I got to tell you.
6 points for Robert Parrish. Boston back in the lead.
They should control the boards, I would think. Not only are they tall, but they're all good rebounders.
Larry Bird. Perkins, good job screening Walton off. Blackman against Seasting. Bird to help out. Wennington was on the rim, but it didn't affect the play. And there is going to be a foul against Robert Parrish. Now that's that play that we learned about from one of the officials when we met him in Portland Airport. Here's the shot again. Now watch Wennington will touch the rim there, but it had no effect on the ball. And Parrish was called for the foul right there with the body as he went over for the block against Vincent.
Yeah, that's the play. We called it wrong before because it's got to interfere with the ball.
And from that angle, you couldn't see the body contact as much. Obviously, Robert Parrish, oh my heavens.
I think, sir, I think he may be an error in that particular situation. That's what Robert Parrish said to the referee. The referee says, I'll hear none of that.
I got a bridge I can sell too if people believe that. 3:25 remaining here in the second quarter. Boston leads by 1. Dennis Johnson off the screen by Parrish. That's Davis. Boston back very well. Perkins, that's an outstanding move. Sam Perkins.
And Sam Perkins is, I think, developing into one of the really fine young forwards in the league. I think they drafted him thinking center, but I think they're going to find that as his career develops that he's going to be an outstanding forward.
Seasting finally misses, but Bird doesn't. Again, an offensive rebound basket for the Celtics.
And Jay Benson never saw where that came from.
I had my statistician, Dave Flatty, find out about those points off of offensive rebounds for us. Blackman got hit by Johnson as Johnson ran by. No foul. And as they battle underneath, it's going to be called, I believe, against
Jerry Seasting.
On Seasting. Very good, Bill. Your eyes haven't totally left you either, have they? We've got a timeout, 2:29 remaining. Boston with a very precarious 1-point lead. First half, Larry Bird misses. There's Robert Parrish, not screened off, and he takes it home. And as a result, Boston with 8 offensive rebounds and 12 points to only 3 for Dallas on 5, a major difference in tonight's contest.
Hey, you know, Rick, the Celtics are not shooting well. They're staying in this game. They got a 1-point lead, temporary as it may be. But this is what you call a Bogart game when you're a good team, Rick. In that you're not playing well, you're not shooting well, things aren't going well, and you just have to just take the game.
Well, I tell you, speaking of a Bogart game, I'm telling you, there's going to be a great contest coming up Friday night. We want to remind those people who have our previous schedule, there's been a change in our schedule for our telecast on Friday night, and I'm very excited about it. This Boston Celtic team will go down to play the Hawks in Atlanta. The Omni's already sold out. The Hawks, one of the hottest, most exciting teams in the NBA, and they've had some outstanding games so far this season, and that should really be a slam banger. See Dominique Wilkins and the rest of the Atlanta Hawks against these Boston Celtics, 8:05 p.m. Eastern Time Friday night, so don't miss that one. Shot clock inside of 10. Robert Parrish from Larry Bird. 8 for Robert. Boston regains the lead.
You remember the statistics we were talking about at the beginning of the game, Rick, with Larry Bird? Good move by Sam Perkins. Outstanding. He is not shooting well tonight, but he's making a heck of a contribution to this Boston team effort.
There's another example of the offensive rebounds. This time they spotted a foul inside against Robert Parrish as he went for that offensive rebound. And again, Larry Bird not shooting particularly well. Bill Wennington is going to go to the bench as Donaldson comes in. Let's watch and see if we can spot the foul by Parrish off the Bird miss. Left of your screen, he had 2 hands in the back of Bill Wennington, and the official, Bruce Alexander, had a perfect angle on it. Gave him the old, what Lou Carnesecca refers to as the old subway push. If you want to get on the subway, Bill, you just got to give him a little low push, get him out of the way, and you get in.
Well, I didn't know that, Rick. I've never had the pleasure of riding subway that I can remember.
Well, I think you owe it to yourself to experience it at least once.
I'll have to take your word for it, Rick.
I won't go with you, however.
Yes, I did. I go to Subway once in New York. One time. That was enough.
Final minute and 40 seconds here of the first half. Shot clock at 10. Perkins with the long arms. Bird gets a three-point try. And count it. 17 for Larry Bird.
And he's not shooting well.
Boston takes the lead by 1. Shot clock at 10. That's going to be a carry on the part of Rolando Blackman. Carrying the ball.
He made one move too many. He fooled Dennis Johnson, but he also fooled himself and the referee.
We've had 4 ties in this ball game and 11 lead changes, and right now the Celtics lead by 1. Final minute of play coming up here in the first half. Great pass from Walton. DJ wide open, lost Blackman. Again, the offensive boards by the Celtics. Walton this time, he can't get it to drop. He'll get another opportunity. No, he decides to give it to DJ. Offensive foul, Dennis Johnson. Watch the effort on the part of Bill Walton. He almost killed Parrish for the first one, took it away from Parrish on the second one. Like a young kid out there, Bill.
Well, that's the way he feels. You know, with the number of minutes he's playing, he can play and enjoy it because it's not enough to get him real tired and not enough to maybe bring on that fatigue injury.
Rolando Blackman gives the lead back to the Dallas Mavericks. Brad Davis almost came up with a great effort in the backcourt for Dallas. Seasting. And again, there are the Celtics, Larry Bird and Robert Parrish
kept it alive.
Exactly. Final 15 seconds here in the first half. Dallas trails by 1. They did lead by 11 at one point early in the second quarter, led by 9 at the end of the first period. They'll play for a chance to take the lead. They run that same play again. They get Perkins for a three-pointer. He can't get it to drop, and that will take care of business here in the first half. Dallas Mavericks trailing the Boston Celtics by 1. We're going to take a pause, and then we'll be along with the Prudential Sports Update. All of the scores going around the NBA and some other sports highlights, and then Bill and I will be back to join you later.
The Celtics shot over 50% in the second quarter, but they did not shoot well. I think that, as we talked about at halftime, the fact that they did shoot over 50% in the second quarter was basically because of their offensive rebounding.
Well, in talking about that, they had 13 offensive boards to 5 for Dallas, 14 points off of those, 6 by Larry Bird, and only 3 points for Dallas. So that really has been a big factor in this basketball game, and we'll see if Brad Davis can reassert himself. I felt he should have shot the ball a little bit more, Bill, in that second quarter, and we'll see if he can take charge like he did last night in the win for Dallas over the Sacramento Kings when we come back with the start of the second half in just a moment.
At 110 miles per hour, engineers find the new Honda Accord LXI hatchback to be quiet and comfortable. And at that speed, you could find it to be twice as quiet and comfortable.
It'll work on your dandruff. Yeah, but I'm afraid it won't leave my hair the way I like it. Hey, this is great stuff.
Today's Head & Shoulders.
It's all I use. Okay.
Tough dandruff protection that works only on your scalp, not your hair. Gentle conditioners go there.
Tough on dandruff, right? But great on hair.
Today's Head & Shoulders. Dandruff care that's good for your hair.
And a look at the sellout crowd here at Reunion Arena. We'll take a look at the first half statistics. You see Boston still managing to only get up to 45% despite that second period where they shot over 50. The Mavs slipped down from 60-some-odd% to 47, so obviously they had a very poor second quarter, a lot from the outside, but credit a lot to Bill Walton, who shut off the middle a lot. But look at the rebounds, Bill. Dominated by the Boston Celtics.
Well, when you're shooting like that, you're going to have to do something to make up for it.
Well, you talk about shutting down the middle. The blocks, as you saw, 5 in favor of Boston, none for the Dallas Mavericks. The leading scorers for Boston, Larry Bird, as usual, leading the way. 3 players in double figures. For Dallas, only Blackman and Perkins in double figures. And again, Davis really had those 9 points in that first period, and then he came up with 0 in the second, and Blackman had 12 of his 14 points in the first period. So the backcourt for the Dallas Mavericks really almost no production in the backcourt point-wise in that second period.
Well, Rick, it's not easy to play point guard because you have to concentrate on so many things, and you have to go out there and never lose sight of what you got to do. And it's a tendency when you get, especially get a little tired, to start worrying about things that you can't do anything about.
Both teams with the same starting lineups that began the game. 7 on the shot clock for Dallas. A little lack of movement here. 3 on the shot clock, and Blackman got hung up in the air. 1 on the shot clock, and he did not beat the buzzer.
Now, what happened on that double team with James Donaldson, because he's not a good passer and doesn't create the kind of double teams that you can use, there was no one free. And that's what I mean by having an inside game, is that you create a situation where you can get the ball to the open man when they double team.
Robert Parrish with a nice spin move to the baseline. He has 10 points, and Boston leads by 3, and that's their biggest lead now of the ball game. Inside, Vincent can't get it to drop. He continues with his cold shooting. He's also called for the foul. Vincent was
that's almost the automatic foul when you miss an easy shot. Here's a good look at it. And he goes right up, and there he is over the back.
He's now 1 for 7 from the field. So filling in for Mark Aguirre, who just joined us, who is out with the flu. Jay Vincent not having a particularly good game offensively, as the Boston Celtics shot clock goes down inside of 10. Kevin McHale, and very quickly the Boston Celtics lead by 5, the biggest lead of the ball game.
And right now the Mavericks have to be very, very careful. Have to get a good shot down the next 2 times. Well, that's the end of that.
Well, the next 2 times they've got to get good shots. Ainge was lucky to come away with that one. James Donaldson. Timeout for Dick Motta. 22nd they're asking for. Not a full timeout, only a 22nd timeout.
And they got a new life in that the Celtics did not come up with a good shot. And so they have a chance to, the next 2 times down, Rick, get a good shot.
We'll remind everybody, of course, that at the conclusion of this game, Bill and I will be selecting the Light Beer Most Valuable Player of the Game. And, of course, in conjunction with the award, Turner Broadcasting and Light Beer from Miller will be presenting a check for $500 to the National Multiple Sclerosis Foundation in that player's name.
Let me be the judge of that, Rick.
Well, I'll think about it. I may go along with you. I don't know. I certainly don't want to have to call Mark Goldsmith. Today he's the producer. Tom Smith's our director tonight. So,
Rick, I just want to be a judge.
Mark has enough trouble breaking 100 on golf course. Never mind making big decisions like player of the game.
But you got to count for the win, Rick.
I heard you had a big fat 90, don't you?
Hey, Rick, hey, don't tell me about that.
Inside of 10 on the shot clock. 5 on the shot clock. Donaldson a little flat. Parrish with the rebound, and the Dallas Mavericks continuing with their erratic offensive play here, which began midway through that second period.
Good
Larry Bird, excellent pass. His man Vincent
Johnson
had his head turned, did not see the basketball, and he paid the price. You must keep that man-ball relationship playing this game, otherwise you get burned. Perfect example right there. 9:35 remaining in the third period. Boston by 7. Brad Davis. And he needs to do a little bit more of that. He is shooting the ball well from the outside. He's had good penetration, and he's been kicking it out to the other men who've been missing the outside shots. There's that 2-man game that we've seen so frequently this evening on the part of both teams. Inside of 10 on the shot clock. Again, that baseline move. This time it doesn't work for Robert. That's Perkins. Sam Perkins, not a good shot, all off balance as Robert Parrish just loses the handle. It's 4 against 2 now for Dallas, and Blackman cuts that lead to only 3 points now for Boston. 8:50 remaining, third quarter. Blackman has 16 in the ball game. There's Mikhail Perkins with the block. First block of the game for the Dallas Mavericks as Dale Ellis enters for Coach Dick Motta.
Now here's where Perkins gets it left-handed, and that's the reason he was able to get it again, Rick, is because he played defense left-handed on that play.
But he should have been right-handed that time, Bill, because Kevin McHale shot it with his left hand.
No, from where he was, he had to shoot with his left hand. Luckily, he was left-handed.
Johnson comes up short. Okay, I want to go over that one again. I got to do it, because you said you don't go across your body. If he goes with his left hand, he has to cross his body to get to McHale's left hand.
If we can get another look at it, you'll see he can go across his body with it.
Here it comes again on Dennis Johnson, and last touch by the Boston Celtics. Shot clock down to 10. Blackman blocked by McHale. Tactical error. Should have let Dennis Johnson land on him and drew the foul that time. 4 against 2. Bird will go to the free throw line as the foul will be against Brad Davis. Davis definitely on the move. Caught Larry in the face. Second foul against Brad. Second team foul against the Mavericks. Boston with none. 8:09 to go here in the third quarter.
You know, I was thinking about Brad Davis, Rick. If you're not used to it, being a point guard for 35, 40 minutes will make you so tired you may go to sleep in your car in the parking lot.
You don't get home, huh?
No, you never get home. I mean, that could make you so tired because there's so many things that you start thinking out there.
Count it. Three-pointer, Dale Ellis. Well, now he'll feel better about himself, I'm sure, Bill. Of course, he's one of the leading three-point field goal shooters as Larry Bird hits it and counters. Count it for Larry Bird. He's 2 for 3. And that's the basket he likes, Bill.
Yes, and they were in that long shot competition together.
That's 26 for Larry Bird. He likes playing against this Dallas Mavericks. Three-pointer, Ellis. If that had gone in, it would have been interesting to see if Bird would have come back down the other end.
Because he loves those little challenges, I can tell you that.
Knocked away by Donaldson. 10 on the shot clock. Bird, three-pointer. That's Ainge. BJ.
Good pass by Danny Ainge. He tracked that one down and did the right thing. Made a good choice on that one.
12 for
obviously.
Dennis. Boston by 7. Matches their biggest lead of the ball game. Good play by Ainge defensively to cut Davis off. Perkins standing on the three-point line. Perkins has 15. McHale. It's Donaldson.
Perkins is making McHale shoot some funny stuff, too.
Three-pointer, Ellis. Parrish with another rebound. Robert had 9 rebounds in the first half. Larry Bird, 28 and counting.
That shot he just took was just like a dunk shot, Rick.
Hey, Larry's played 4 games here in this arena against Dallas, and he's averaging 31.5 points a game. So he likes this building. At this rate, he's going to surpass that as the shot clock goes inside of 10. Foul spotted. Going to be against Dennis Johnson. Got a timeout by the Dallas Mavericks. 6:02 remaining here in the third period. The Boston Celtics have jumped out to a 7-point lead.
Chocolate is scrumptious, very crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch. That's why I love Nestle Crunch.
I don't know. What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
I'd go to college.
Me too.
If I had the money.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
I don't know. What are you gonna do?
You don't want those fries.
What are you gonna do, Jack? Eat your way to college?
Really? I'm going to college on the new GI Bill. You serve full-time in the armed forces or part-time in the reserves, and you earn a lot of money for tuition.
The new GI Bill.
Are you using that pickle?
Now for young men and women in the armed forces. It's a great place to start. See your local recruiter.
When 100 nursery school kids were exposed to spinal meningitis, 2 pharmacists from Eckerd Drugs worked overtime against time itself, mixing enough antibiotic, dose by dose, for each and every child. And through their dedication and concern, they stopped an epidemic before it started. To an Eckerd pharmacist, nothing's more important than your health.
I don't believe anything like that could happen in Delano.
Charlton Heston, Wayne Rogers, Chiefs, coming to Superstation WTBS, beginning March 18th.
And again, a reminder, we have a schedule change for you, and I think a terrific one. This Friday night, 8:05 p.m. Eastern Time, the same Boston Celtics you're watching tonight will travel down to the Omni in Atlanta to take on the red-hot Atlanta Hawks. And Dominique Wilkins and Spud Webb, Doc Rivers, and Kevin Willis and the rest of the crew will be ready. It's a sellout crowd already, so join us 8:05 p.m. Friday night, the Celtics and the Hawks. Rolando Blackman cuts it back to a 5-point lead now for Boston. And during that timeout, Bill explained to me about the block when Perkins went up against McHale. Because of his body position, Perkins did use the correct hand, so you win that round, Bill.
No, Rick. What I was telling you is that, I happen to think that I almost came up with a good defensive play on the weak side. But position is so important in this game. If you start in the correct position, you can make the plays. And if you don't start in the right position, most of the time you'll get a foul or a turnover.
Well, it's kind of ridiculous me talking to you about shot blocking anyway. 3 on the shot clock. Danny Ainge. Danny with 12.
But, Rick, you know a lot about shot blocking because a good offensive player has to know how to protect.
I had to try to avoid it.
Yes.
Since the Mavericks had their biggest lead of the game of 11 points at the beginning of the second period, Boston has out-rebounded them 20-7. Three-pointer, Ellis. And that shows you what rebounding will do for you.
And maybe that's why Ellis is not playing very much. He's not hitting that three-pointer.
Also what bad shooting will do for you. Larry Bird. Good rebound, Sam Perkins. Perkins, blocked Parrish, but Perkins will go to the free throw line. I think he should have continued with the left hand that time. He brought the ball back to the defender that time. Let's see it again, Bill. He tried to bring it back to the right side. If he kept with the hook, another angle, if he kept it out far with the left hand.
He had taken off too far out.
That was the problem.
And then when you get from the air and you're on your way down, you have to think of a lot of things.
Well, whatever he did, he made a nice adjustment to draw the foul against Robert Parrish. So he's at the line, both teams with 2 team fouls. And I'm sure that Dick Motto would like to see that third foul against Robert Parrish. However, that would probably bring Bill Walton into the game, and Bill did a great job in the second period of shutting down that middle for the Boston defense.
That could very easily change the whole complexion of the game, Rick.
Boston by 6, 4:45 to go, third quarter. Larry Bird. 30 points for Larry Bird.
All he needs is one more to keep his average?
No, what he's averaged in this building in the 4 times he's played here in his career.
That's what I mean.
Yes, he needs, well, 1.5 more, so actually the next basket will take care of it. Perkins, block against Larry Bird. Second against Larry. Perkins again. Larry definitely moving. I can't believe Larry complained about that one, Bill. I mean, he just jumped right in front of Sam.
Well, sometimes you think that you're...
Actually, I probably can believe it.
Yes, Rick. I know you believe it.
I take that back. I can believe it. I can believe it.
After watching you play, Rick, you were the referees, I know that you believe it.
Hey, listen, I thought I did a pretty good job of that. So I asked the officials, I said, listen, would you rather have me behind the mic or out in the court? They said, listen, stay behind the mic, you know, give us a break. 4:15 to go here in the third quarter. And Larry Bird has 32. So he has surpassed his average here at Reunion Arena.
And he started out having a bad night shooting.
That time Ainge had his head turned, and an excellent pass from Davis to Blackman. And that's embarrassing as a defender, Bill.
Well, you know, if that's the way Kevin, he never lost sight of the basket. He kept giving fakes and pumps and all this, but he never lost sight of the basket. But what you do, Davis not been able to make that pass, and Seasting had pressure on him.
6
you
points.
got the pressure to pass sometimes.
6 for Kevin. Perkins doesn't get the roll. Parrish gets another rebound. He's in double figures. Larry Bird just inside 3-point range. Donaldson knocked away by McHale. Wide open on the right side is Ellis. And Sam did not see him. Ten on the shot clock. Traveling.
Little bitty steps.
No basket. Traveling against Perkins. Bill Walton now into the ball game for Kevin McHale. Bird is 12 for 23 in the ball game. He's made 7 of his last 10 shots from the field. 3 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Boston leads by 8. They led by 1 at the end of the first half, had trailed by 9 at the end of the first quarter. Ainge with 10 on the shot clock. Walton kept it alive, and Parrish finishes it off.
Walton did a good move there. He had Bird clear the area out, and when the whole defense reacted to Bird going to the baseline, then Ainge just over there and was wide open. A good pass. Although he didn't make the shot, they came up with 2 points anyway, though.
Blackman to Ellis. Foul is going to be against Bill Walton. And Bill Whittington will be coming into the ball game. Another first-round draft choice for the Dallas Mavericks. We've got a timeout on the court. The Boston Celtics have their biggest lead of the ball game. They lead by 10.
This is Mr. James Burke in his Honda Civic. And these are the Burke boys. People say they sure take after their dad, right down to the cars they drive. All Hondas, which just goes to prove the old saying, like father, like son. And son, and son, and son.
Does a mouthwash have to taste medicine-y to kill germs? We talked to a medicine-y mouthwash user.
It doesn't taste so good, but it kills the germs.
What if I told you Scope with T25 kills as many germs as your mouthwash?
I don't think it'll kill germs.
Clinical tests prove it does. Will you try Scope for a week?
Okay, I'll test it for a week. Scope kills the germs and it gives you a fresh breath. Clean, fresh. It's a good feeling. I'm going to switch to Scope.
Antiseptic Scope leaves your breath minty, not medicine-y.
Me and Ben love to party. So, we never miss a Mardi Gras, right, King? Right, Kong. Great music, great fun, and great folks. Hey, they appreciate the taste of a great beer, too. Because in New Orleans, they drink more Miller Lite than all the other light beers put together. Heck, it's the most popular light beer in the whole country. Okay, Ben, it's time to party. On with your head.
All across America, there's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
Rick Barry back with Bill Russell. 2:27 remaining here in the third quarter. And the Boston Celtics again asserting themselves, Bill, as they've done so often this season. It's one of the reasons they have the best record in the NBA. I would quickly like to say that we wish a speedy recovery to John Vanek, the official in the league, who I know both of us had a lot of respect for. He was officiating when you were around. Still, he had a left knee problem, and he's out now, so we hope that John comes back soon, along with Bill Sauer. Another official is out with a stress fracture, and even the officials are getting stress fractures as you look at the domination on the rebounding for the Boston Celtics. And Robert Parrish, the young man you were looking at, has 15 of those rebounds.
And the three-point shooter just shot a brick. Maybe it's too close at 15 feet. Nope. He adjusted.
Well, Ellis at least gets it back to only a single-digit deficit now for the Dallas Mavericks. Seasting, who came into the ball game, is going to get that wide-open 18-footer. Good screen off that time by Whittington. That will be the penalty coming up now against Boston.
Well, that was an excellent run play. They looked inside, made sure that the Dallas defense reacted, and this is what they ended up with. He didn't make it, but
that's the toughest shot in the game, Bill. Toughest shot in the game.
Shot to the baseline.
Wide open from the baseline. Boy, that is tough. 2 fouls on Bill Walton. Five points now for Weddington.
Bill Weddington hasn't played very much, but he has developed to the best cheerleader in the league, standing on the bench.
Yeah, he's up off the bench quite a few times. 22nd timeout on the part of Casey Jones. And again, a reminder for Friday night, a schedule change. We will have the Boston Celtics playing against the Atlanta Hawks from the Omni. It's a sellout already. The Hawks, one of the up-and-coming young teams in the league, and we saw them play an exciting game the other night in Chicago.
Yes, they surprised me.
That's this Friday night. Hope you'll join us for that telecast. They surprised you?
Yeah,
the crystal ball was foggy that night, Bill. The wind
hey,
in Chicago and the cold must have done it.
It was so cold, I got crystals on the crystal ball.
I know.
Ice crystals.
I know, my feet finally have thawed out, sitting on that ice there. But it's a little cold in this building for the Dallas Mavericks as far as their shooting is concerned. They have not had a particularly good third period. They have 2:15 to try and cut into that 7-point lead of the Boston Celtics. It was at 10 just moments ago. Ellis goes for the steal and pays a very big price.
Now, he fouled Bird 3 times before he got the ball, and still ended up not being able to guard him.
Bird has 34 points. Two-man game. Blackman now has 22.
I mean, you see that shot that Blackman just made.
Davis off the Bird miss.
That's the kind of shot that doesn't fall the last quarters, going down the stretch. And that's when you get in trouble if you're depending on that shot.
Three-pointer. Ellis didn't even reach the basket. Parrish with another rebound. Weddington comes away with it. They're going to call a foul. Pushing. Let's see who it's against. Seasting. See if we can pick it up again. There's Seasting, number 12. And right there, he was actually trying to stop himself from getting hurt, I think, Bill. That was a self-defense foul.
When you're that little, you're supposed to stay out of the way. No, what I was saying, Rick, last time down, they did a two-man game, and they end up with a 17, 18-foot jump shot. And if you get in the habit of taking that shot, you go down the stretch when the game's on the line. That's a shot that doesn't drop.
Weddington with 7.
The biggest cheerleader in the league. But I think a real good player.
Weddington now with 8. 6 of those coming from the free throw line here in the third quarter. 1:15 remaining, third quarter. Boston by 5. Larry Bird inside. Foul's going to be called against Ellis. And that was an excellent pass on the part of Bill Walton. It had to be perfect to be able to get the ball to Bird because Ellis was between Bird and Walton. Let's watch it again. See Ellis in pretty good position. Just an outstanding pass. 4th team foul against Dallas. Walton gets Weddington in the paratrooper club. And that's the
get those young guys. Get those young guys. They jump ship in a minute.
First points of the second half for Bill Walton. He has 4. But points is not what Bill Walton is on this Boston Celtic team for. Inside of 10 on the shot clock. Ainge back in on Blackman. And Rolando Blackman warming up here. He has 24. Back to a 5-point Boston lead. Final 40 seconds, third quarter. Traveling Robert Parrish. On the men's scoreboard, we have a final in there. Phoenix, a win over Detroit. Breaks a streak of the Detroit Pistons, one of the hottest teams in the league recently. Have some highlights of that in a few minutes. 7 on the shot clock now. Ainge with the body will be called for the foul. That will send Blackman to the free throw line. There he is moving, had the arm out. Did not give Blackman an opportunity to take the step. 3 personals on Danny. Rolando had 21 points the only other time these two teams met back in December 18th to be exact, when Boston won that ball game up at the Garden. course, we'll be seeing the Celtics again Friday night against the Hawks. And then we will also see them on Sunday against the 76ers back at home, where they'll be off this long road trip, and they'll be trying to continue that 19 consecutive game home winning streak. "15 seconds to go here in the third quarter. It's a 3-point lead for Boston. They led by 1 at the end of the half and by 10 just a few minutes ago. Larry Bird with the left hand. 36 for Larry Bird. 3 seconds, 2, 1. And that will take care of business here at the end of the third period. It is the Boston Celtics 86, the Dallas Mavericks 81. 12 more minutes of action. We'll see if the Dallas Mavericks can pull out that first victory ever against the Celtics.
In the high-tech world of car stereo, high technology must go beyond what the eye can see. Kenwood believes in the essentials, in achieving sound perfection, by building car stereo components that produce sound of startling realism and depth. Sound perfection. It doesn't get any closer than this.
To John Kaiser, who had 6 grand openings in 3 days, Republic Airlines awards the comforts of perks.
He's earned them.
To Gary McKee, who had to laugh at the same joke 6 times, Republic awards the executive suite perk.
You've earned it.
And to Nell McCarran, who had to dress for success in 6 cities, Republic awards a free trip after only 20,000 miles.
I've earned it.
We make you feel like flying Republic Airlines.
True Value hardware stores mean top quality hardware, and our Hardware Week circular means great savings for you. Get this Snap-it Magnaflex work light that sticks to metal for just $13.88, and Armor All Protectant for only $6.99 with a $2 mail-in rebate. Wagner glass mask keeps painting mess to a minimum for just $3.88, and the Master Mechanic electric glue gun helps with household repairs. It's only $7.99 in the Hardware Week circular from participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Significant news on an otherwise light NBA schedule tonight. The party's over at the Silverdome as the Phoenix Suns have broken the Pistons' 15-game home court winning streak. Larry Nance led the way with 28 first-half points. He finished with 44, tying his career high the final. Phoenix 120, Detroit 109. A legit excuse for the Pistons' loss. All-Star MVP Isaiah Thomas missed the game with a thumb injury. Back to Reunion Arena in Dallas.
Thank you very much, Kevin. There's the score here as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. A lot of big basketball fans here in the Dallas area from all other sports. Martina Navratilova, of course, is one of the judges on All-Star Weekend. And we've got a fellow sitting next to us here who was a pretty good athlete in his day, huh?
You know, Rick, I think that when we're not here, this is his seat.
Roger Staubach.
Because he's been looking.
Well, he's only a little guy. We can sit here. Don't worry about it.
He's been looking at me kind of funny, like I've.
Bill Walton makes the move to the hoop. He'll go to the free throw line.
So I'll apologize to him after the game, Rick.
Okay, let's set the lineups for both ball clubs here as we've had some changes during that timeout. It's Seasting and Dennis Johnson in the backcourt, along with Bill Walton, Kevin McHale, and Scott Wedman in the front line for Boston. Blackman, along with Brad Davis in the backcourt for Dallas. Vincent, Winnington, and Detlef Schrempf. Good shot of the intense Bill Walton. You can see he's well over his seasonal average for rebounds here tonight. Boston by 6. The two-man game, and Detlef Schrempf just nailed Seasting, but they say Seasting ran into Schrempf in his effort to try and fight through the pick, so Seasting will draw the foul. Some heavy-duty action here, Bill. The shoulder of Detlef Schrempf.
That was a bad call, Rick, period.
Another look from a further angle. Looked like Detlef was going forward and just nailed the... that's what I thought when it first happened. I was surprised when they got the foul against Seasting, but actually I'm surprised that he got up so quickly. Schrempf. He'll go to the free throw line as Wedman knocks him to the ground after the shot. Sam Perkins returning to the lineup. And Blackman goes to the bench. That will probably move Detlef Schrempf to the backcourt.
And it'll make him the tallest guard in the league, right?
6'10". Good look at Rolando getting
that's except when
some rest.
Except when Ralph Sampson is running the break.
And he'll be able to do that soon because Hakeem Olajuwon is going to return from that injury, they say, shortly. So Ralph will have a chance to go to the backcourt again every once in a while, much to the dismay of head coach Bill Fitch. Schrempf now with 4 points. Boston leads by 4. Dallas's bench has come up with 20 points in scoring, only 9 for Boston. But Boston starters have been awesome, especially Larry Bird. Dennis Johnson. DJ with 14 now. We've played the first minute of the 4th and final period. Derek Harper will be coming in for Dallas shortly. Again, little two-man action. Davis doesn't use it. That leaves Weddington open from 18, and he responds. Double figures for Bill Weddington. Keeps playing like that, Bill. He'll see more playing time, you can rest assured. And a couple players hit the deck as Perkins and McHale battle underneath for position, and the foul is going to be called against Sam Perkins.
Now, he got nailed by Kevin McHale, but that was the second foul. Let's take another look at it.
Right side of your screen, right there. Perkins hits the deck on the hook by McHale, but as Bill pointed out, there was some action before that replay. Scott Wedman, that was a three-point try. And again, the offensive rebounding hurting Dallas so badly. Perkins with the block, but the foul's going to be on Harper, who reached in to help Perkins out, and he didn't need any help that time.
Well, that's one of the things about now. Here's Kevin McHale with the play. Now, there's a reach in right there, and there's a block by Sam Perkins. You have to know your teammates, and when you're on defense especially, and you know who to help and when to help. And that's one of the things you should learn as you play with guys more, so that you don't get those kind of fouls.
It's also the third team foul against Dallas. It's only 7 points for Kevin McHale tonight, having one of his rare off nights offensively.
Well, I think that Sam Perkins is doing a good job when he's guarding him, because he's got long arms just like Kevin.
Ten on the shot clock. Perkins decides to let it go. Made a good decision. 20 points for Perkins, but I still don't like the way that they stand there, Bill, with the ball held up, telling everybody in the building they're going to pass. No threat that way. Dennis Johnson tries to get it in. He'll get a third opportunity as he missed the tip-in. Dallas will look back on this game should they lose it and have nightmares about the offensive rebounding. That's Dennis Johnson. 14-16 for Dennis Johnson. Larry Bird will be coming back in. You'll see him sitting there. He is at half court. Top of your screen as he reported to the scorer's table. Wennington from 17. Walton rebound. Dallas back very well at this time. Scott Wedman. The outside shooting working now for Boston. That's 2 for Scott Wedman. And it's going to be a timeout for the Dallas Mavericks. And Dick Motta does not like the way things are progressing. He has seen his team fall behind by 7 points now after having whittled that Boston lead down to 3. We still have plenty of time left, however. 9:13 remaining here in the 4th quarter.
On June 8, 1984, a tornado struck Barneveld, Wisconsin. About the only thing left standing was the water tower.
After the tornado, people said this is the end of a small town.
Rick Barry back with Bill Russell. Final 9 minutes and 5 seconds remaining here as Walton and Donaldson battle for position as James has come into the contest. And Donaldson gets the good roll. 6 for James. It's a 5-point lead for the Boston Celtics. Schrempf lost Dennis Johnson. Fortunately, Dennis wasn't able to drop it for the Dallas Mavericks.
That was a good play. Dennis ran him into Larry Bird twice, going and coming. That's how he got free.
Again, Donaldson battling against Walton. 10 on the shot clock. 5. And Harper can't get it to drop in as Bird controls. 3 against 3. Knocked away by Perkins. Good anticipation by Sam. Shrimp keeps it alive, and they're going to call a foul on Shrimp. It really didn't look like he touched anyone. That will be the 4th team foul against Shrimp. Let's see if there is indeed a foul. That's all ball, Bill.
So it's 2 bad calls, at least.
And the Mavericks can ill afford to have anything go against them right now as they're struggling and battling to keep in this ball game. Robert Parrish, who's returned, just drops it in for
That was a great move.
Celtics.
Bird went through, and Donaldson reacted to him going through just enough to freeze himself and open up for Robert Parrish on the weak side.
14 for Robert. Shot clock goes inside of 10. Shrimp blocked by Robert Parrish. 4 against 3 for Boston. Dennis Johnson finds the open man. McHale with that knuckler that he throws up. No rotation on the ball. He's got 9. And Boston is back up to a 9-point lead. Their biggest lead was 10.
Now Robert Parrish is talking to Jerry Seaston so you know what's coming there. And that's what you got to do defensively.
Wennington can't get it to drop. Bird with another rebound. Parrish was open, and Bird elected to go straight. Bounce pass would have been the pass that time. I think Larry
should
knew
we
it.
call timeout and tell him?
He knew it. He knew it. Now watch the pass and watch Larry's reaction. We can see his reaction after he makes the pass. He'll get knocked away. We probably won't see Larry. He got knocked away, and he just, Sam with those long arms. There you go. Danny Ainge is back in. So Casey Jones with his starting lineup to play the final 6:50 of this ball game. Dennis Johnson will go to the free throw line. Foul is going to be against Wennington. And that's the penalty also against Dallas. It does not matter, however, because Dennis Johnson was in the act of shooting. Only 2 team fouls against Boston. Well, speaking of Wennington, Lou Carnesecca has done a nice job to get St. John's back up there and on the top 4 teams in the country after losing some top people. Chris Mullen also. Dennis doing a nice job this evening over his season scoring average. And Dallas is going to have to try and get something going right here. Wide open is Derek Harper, the other side. They find him. And he finds the basket.
Good move by Sam Perkins because he saw the double team mix up there and lack of conversation, and he saw the open man on that weak side because they had Blackman pretty much covered.
Larry Bird, 3-pointer. Count it. 39 for Larry Bird. The Celtics lead by 11, their biggest lead of the game at the 6:05 mark. Blackman with 9 on the shot clock. McHale with the rebound, and the Dallas Mavericks are in trouble, Bill.
That's the shot I was telling you about, Rick, earlier, that they can't go down the stretch taking that 20-foot jumper.
Two-man game for Boston. Larry Bird only needs one-man game.
Oh, he gave Sam Perkins 3 hours of motion there.
41 for Bird, still 5.5 remaining. Larry Bird set a new team record for points scored against the Mavericks. Now it was 40 held by Bird. Now it's 41. Wennington tries to take it home, and he'll go to the free throw line. Foul on Robert Parrish. That'll be his 4th.
Good decision by Wennington. That's the only way that he would have got that shot off, because Robert Parrish had blocking on his mind. Good move. strong and prudent.
Larry had that record of 40 points against the Mavericks. Was November 27th of 1984 here in Reunion Arena. And Casey Jones decides he would like to discuss his final strategies. Or at least he hopes it's final and the game doesn't get too close that he has to call a few more timeouts. We'll be back with the final 5:17 in just a moment.
You're growing, America, and so are your copying needs. That's why Konicka's Royal Copiers are built tough, with all the features you demand for future growth. Zoom magnification reduction, double-sided copying, electronic editing, and more. For challenges as big as tomorrow, Konica offers a complete line of rugged Royal Copiers backed by nationwide service. You demand productivity. With Konicka's Royal Copiers, you get it. Tough customers, tough copiers.
This world calls for special feeling. This world calls.
It tells the story. 12-point lead for the Boston Celtics, their largest of the game. That's soon to be diminished, I would think, with Bill Wennington at the free throw line.
Correctly observed, Rick.
Larry Bird. That was one of the few bad shots that he's thrown up tonight, Bill. Perkins, Dennis Johnson with a good job to shut off his penetration move. Blackman to Wennington. McHale throws it away. Threw it behind Dennis Johnson.
Dennis was a blur of blinding speed, and that's...
As Roger Staubach who retrieved that ball. He still hasn't lost his hands totally. Wennington short again. As Bill pointed out, that's the jumper that will leave you. Bird, much too hard. McHale might have had his hand taken off if he had caught that one. And Bird said to McHale, he may have read the lips when he started, "My fault."
And Kevin said, "No kidding."
Sam Perkins. McHale with the block, but Bird with the foul. Watch that move again by Perkins. He gets Larry leaning to Larry's right. Larry with the body and his hands on, and McHale with the block. That'll send Perkins to the line as Derek Harper goes to the bench and Brad Davis re-enters for Boston. Larry Bird, 41 points tonight. He has 11 rebounds, 3 of them off the offensive end, 5 assists and 1 steal. Shooting 16 for 28 thus far.
He's going to have to do a little more stealing work.
And Uwe Block is going to make his first appearance into the game, and also coming in, Dale Ellis.
Another one of the Legionnaires, huh?
That's right. Wennington to the bench along with Donaldson. So all of Dallas's first-round draft picks seeing some action tonight. The foreign exchange, as they are affectionately known. .22 points tonight for Sam Perkins. 9-point lead for the Boston Celtics. 4:20 to play. Bird, three-pointer. Perkins kept it alive. Davis takes it away. Ainge with the foul. That will be the penalty against the Celtics now. That will send Brad Davis to the free throw line. 4th personal against Dan. Vic Mata is trying to get his ball club back into this one. They have plenty of time left. A couple of free throws here would help the cause. Davis with the chance to cut it to a 7-point Boston lead. Casey Jones calling out the 5 play. What's the 5 play, Bill? The same old 5 play?
No.
Or a new 5? Just a high 5 with a low 5.
You roll around, you rotate till you can get it to 33 wide open.
Okay, let's see if they do that. Trying to post up McHale. Good position by Perkins to deny the pass in. 10 on the shot clock. They finally do get it to Kevin. Uwe Blop gets knocked to the ground. He'll go to the free throw line as Perkins played outstanding defense that time, I thought, Bill.
Yeah, he did a real good job on Kevin McHale.
Good body position there. Good body position there. And Blop hits the deck.
See, the left hand was on the ball.
The rebounding, again, totally dominated by Boston.
And the reason I keep talking about what hand they're playing defense with, Rick, I think it's important to be able to play defense with either hand, too, as well as make passes and shoot with either hand.
Well, you need to be ambidextrous to play this game and play it well. Uwe Blop does not help the cause with that missed free throw. Gets a nice roll that time. Boston 53-30 on the boards. 3:40 to play. It's a 6-point lead for Boston. Shot clock inside of 10. DJ. 19 for Dennis Johnson. Such a tough player down the stretch, Bill. Dennis Johnson.
Yes, I was just thinking that he's a...
Sam Perkins showing me a little something here tonight. 24 for Perkins, and this is the best I've seen Sam playing as you see the game clock. Thrown away by Dennis Johnson.
And now they cut it to 4, or maybe even 3.
Well, Mavericks are taking a timeout to discuss final strategies here, or at least strategies for the next 3 minutes. They've got 3:01 to try and catch the Celtics, who lead by 6. Standing up. You see that the Mavericks very good with keeping the ball in their hands. And look at the turnovers tonight. Dallas with only 9. And over the last 2 minutes and 16 seconds, the Mavericks have run off 8-2 against the Celtics to cut it to that 6-point deficit that they face right now. They have 3:01 remaining to try and make up the remainder.
And most important of all, they have the ball.
Sellout crowd here at Union Arena, the 25th of this season, setting a new team record. Mavericks leading the league in attendance this year. They were second last year. Saw the intensity on Bill Wennington, who, as Bill pointed out, is a great cheerleader on the bench when he's there. Ten on the shot clock. Uwe Blop, goaltending against PARRISH. It's a 4-point lead for Boston.
Yep, goaltender. He was on the way down.
.235 to play. They're going to call a foul against Blackman, who was battling for position inside, trying to deny the ball away from Dennis Johnson. That will send DJ to the free throw line. No, they're calling.
It was Uwe Blop
pushing.
If you look away from the ball, he's giving Robert Parrish a pretty good going over.
Exactly. It was on the other side of the court. Blackman was giving Dennis Johnson a pretty good going over, it looked like, too. So the Chief to the free throw line, and the fans will love that. Robert with big rebound total tonight. He had 25 back on Saturday night.
And 2 bricks.
There's the game clock, top of the picture. Blackman rushed it just a bit. DJ was in pretty good position to annoy him a little bit on that shot, at least make him think about it. And this is where Dick Motta wants someone to take over. We'll see if that happens. Great cut. Ellis fouls Bird. Nice pass by Danny Ainge.
That was a great play. Because that play, the key to that play is timing. And you got a good pass there. And you got to get the timing with the defense on you. And they're playing them pretty close, too. Just an outstanding pass by Danny Ainge.
Well, credit also Larry Bird for an outstanding cut to get free of Dale Ellis, who's been stalking him.
You know, I like another thing that Bird has that maybe people don't notice very much. And maybe they do. He has an excellent pair of hands. He has very strong hands.
Even with those crooked fingers.
Yes, because he catches almost anything in his vicinity. Then he can turn around and have that great touch as a rebounder.
He's got 43 points tonight. Three-pointer, Brad Davis. Count it! 3-point lead for Boston. DJ over Blackman. Blackman. 3 against 2. Blackman blocked. That was a block by McHale, but the foul is going to be called against Dennis Johnson down low. There's the good crossover move again. Right there, reaching in. Dennis Johnson with the foul, and the block by Kevin McHale. Watch the right hand of Dennis Johnson. The left hand it was. There it was, the left hand. Not a lot of contact on that play, Bill. Pretty good defensive move by Dennis Johnson. Tough call for the Celtics.
That makes 3, you're saying, Rick. Bad call I'm talking about. That we've noticed. Or at least that we've talked about.
Okay, I wasn't counting. And that makes it very interesting. A 1-point lead for Boston, 1:35 to play, and what I said Casey Jones did not want to have happen has happened. Timeout, Boston. Pennington is over there just trying to get the crowd all pumped up. There he is doing the job. The ML car of, of the Dallas Mavericks. And, well, should the Mavericks have a standing ovation here as they have fought back, having led by 9 at the end of the first period, trailing by 1 at the end of the half. They trailed by as many as 12 points with 5:17 left in this game. You see the free throws. Dallas, a big advantage there, but Boston with the big advantage on the offensive rebounding and baskets. Timeouts left. Perkins almost knocked it away from McHale. 5 on the shot clock. Bird, no chance. Blackman foul Johnson. He'll go to the free throw line. Over the last 4 minutes, though, the Dallas Mavericks have run off 15-4 against the Celtics. DJ reaches in, picks up his 6th personal foul, and Casey Jones goes to Jerry Seasting on the bench.
That's a very important foul because Dennis is the guy
that takes charge.
In the backcourt. Right.
We have to make that clear. There's another fellow wearing number 33 on the Celtics. Just gave a little pat to Seasting, who has been known to take charge occasionally.
I would say that right now, all things being equal, the Mavericks have an edge to finish the game. Now, it may not turn out to be that way, but I would say that
we are tied with 1:06 remaining. Our 5th tie only of the ball game. We've had 13 lead changes. It's been a long time, though, since we've had a lead change, way back late in the 2nd period. And here's a chance for Dallas to regain the lead. Blackman has 30. The final minute of play. Larry Bird gets knocked down, and they only called the foul on Uwe Blop as Bird was cutting on the baseline.
Let's see if we can see him clothesline him.
There's Blop right there, gave a little push to Bird behind, and then Dallas finished off the job by knocking him down. It was a little tag team match that time against Larry Bird. I think the Celtics will have the lead again, Bill, momentarily.
That's a reasonably safe assumption.
And our 15th lead change, Larry Bird now with 45 points. Boston by 1. The 2-man game. Davis sees an opening. Parrish with the foul. He's gone. That's his 6th. That'll bring Bill Walton in off the bench. Well, Brad Davis took charge, Bill. That's what he did last night. Here he gets by Seasting. And Robert just caught him on the arm. Did a good job coming over to help out. Unfortunately, he caught arm.
Let's take another look at it because I had a feeling.
He got him on the arm. You had a feeling it was the fourth bad call.
Yes. But I was wrong.
16 rebounds in addition. And Robert Parrish, with those 25 rebounds he had on Saturday night, that was way back in 1977 that anybody on the Celtics had that many rebounds. That was performed by Dave Cowens. But right now, more importantly, the Boston Celtics find themselves in a very difficult position as Brad Davis ties it with 43 seconds remaining. A chance to give the Mavericks the lead. This could be our 16th lead change. Timeout, Boston. Okay, Bill, now you're Casey Jones. You know him well. You've played with him in college and the pros. What's he going to come up with?
Well, I would like to think they're going to get either try to get a two-man game with Bird and either Walton or McHale. But what they want to try to do is get inside-outside.
Not if you use 24 and they use 24.
Well, nobody's going to use 24. Not this league.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
Hey, trying to get somebody to use 20 is enough of a problem.
Okay, Walton, he said he came in for Parrish, who fouled out, along with Dennis Johnson, who fouled out.
The advantage I think the Mavericks have is they're going down the stretch with the team they want, and because of this fouling out situation, Boston's not going down the stretch with the team that they would like to have out there.
Ellis is on Bird.
Now there's a two-man game, Bird and
Bill Walton can't get the lefty to drop.
Now they got inside like I thought they might want to.
But they will get the ball back. The Celtics will get it back if they do not commit a foul. 24 seconds you see remaining. 9-second differential on the game clock and shot clock. Three-pointer, Ellis, count it! Not the best shot to take, but they lead by 4 with 12 seconds. Bird, three-pointer, count it! Larry Bird comes back with a clutch play. Blackman fouled by Kevin McHale with 8 seconds remaining. What a shot by Larry Bird. I mean, he knifed his way in between people, made sure his feet were over there, and what looked like a game was totally out of reach. Let's watch this entire sequence here over the last 22 seconds.
Now, this is not the shot you think you'd take at a time like this.
There's the three-pointer. Now watch what happens. Larry Bird come back down the other end as Walton quickly gets it in to try and stop Dallas from getting set up. There's a quick move. Look at this move. Knifes his way in. And now Blackman back live at the line. Boston trails by 2.
Now if he makes this one, they've got to go for a three-pointer.
What do you think, Bill? Do you think he'll make it? You see what he's done thus far tonight.
Yes, I think he'll make it.
Okay. He's got 31 points. Timeout. Boston Celtics. Now remember, on February the 28th, the Mavericks were in a pretty good position with the tie ball game against Philadelphia with 2 seconds. NBA highs 54 by Alex English back in November. But right now, the Boston Celtics need 3 points. They have 8 seconds to get it.
That's a lot of time to see if you can get somebody open.
Dick Mott is out in the court. You can see him there yelling for defensive assignments to his players. Larry Bird. It's a 1-point lead with 4 seconds remaining. Dallas only needs to get it in. They'll probably go for the steal and the foul. They get it to Ellis. To Davis. That should take care of it. Donaldson, they say no basket. The game was over. No basket by James Donaldson, but they didn't need it. A miraculous victory for the Dallas Mavericks. The first time in the franchise history that they have defeated the Boston Celtics.